to Courage in Crisis, conversations of faith, health, and wellness. We have been in these conversations for just about 2 months now as we seek to respond to the various challenges that the COVID-19 pandemic has sent to us as a people in general. This is a program sponsored by the Moravian Church, East and West Indies Province, and we reach out to our various members and professionals around the province to just share with others what the experience of crisis has been and how they can really impress and help others to deal with the crisis. Today we have something slightly different. In fact, we have basically all young people on the program and college graduates. And I'm not going to introduce them. I'm going to turn the program over to Andrea Errol, who is a school psychologist, who is one accustomed to helping persons to process the emotions and all of those things. So since Andrea, I'm turning the program over to you.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome again to one of our various conversations. As we all would recognize that with COVID-19, it affects each and every one of us and in varying ways. So today we have a number of young persons, young ladies who would have recently graduated, and so our conversation today will focus on them and the journey to this point as we go through COVID-19. So I will start and I will ask the first person to introduce themselves. Well, we'll start with Jamila. So let us know where you're from, what university you are studying at, and what area of study you are pursuing.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jamila Connor. I would have attended the University of the Virgin Islands. I pursued a BA in psychology.
Okay, could you repeat that, Jamila, please? We were not hearing.
Good afternoon, everyone. Everyone hearing me?
A little better.
Yes.
Okay. Once again, my name is Jamila Connor. Pleasant good afternoon. I would have attended the University of the Virgin Islands, and I pursued a BA in psychology.
Okay, and congratulations. So, Nyasa.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Nasa Lynch. I just graduated from Jackson State University with my Bachelor's of Business Administration in Marketing. Okay. And I'm from St. Thomas.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Kiara Hodge. I just graduated from Clark Atlanta University in my Bachelor's of Educational Studies, and I'm from St. Croix.
Okay, so congratulations, everyone. And normally, as you have introduced yourself, we would start our program with just a general check-in as to how we have been doing, how has it been going in the last week or in the last few days. So I will start with Reverend Lewis.
Well, how have I been doing? I think I'm still coping. Some days better than others. So there's some days when I look forward to getting up, and the other days when I'm not so sure that I want to get up. But I think I'm coping well. Realizing, and now we're talking about like opening churches again and going back out and all the logistics that are involved in just adjusting to this new normal. It can be challenging, but I'm doing reasonably well.
Okay. Jamila?
Hi. For the few days, I've been doing quite well. I mean, sometimes each day kind of feel like the same day. So I'm just keeping myself positive and try to do things that I enjoy just to pass the time. But for the most part, I'm doing quite well.
Thank you. Nessa?
I'm really about the same. I know at first when the virus really started to just just having to leave, pack up my things from college, and in a quick manner, just hurry up and put my things in storage and jump on a plane before the flights were getting canceled. That was rough. And then just coming home unexpectedly, that was kind of hard to just be okay with, because it's like, wow, I was just about to end, my senior year. But I think, and then also following that, like losing a job that I had secured previously from in February, that was tough being okay with. But most recently, I've gotten to where it's like I took a break from trying again to find something else, and I recently built back up the desire to try again and look for more opportunities. So I'm feeling a lot better these days, in short.
Okay, thanks, Kiara.
The past few days, I've been feeling well. I graduated, so now I feel relaxed. I feel free from all the work and all the stress. So I've been taking it a day at a time. Reading my daily texts every morning. Saying a prayer, praying for those who are healing, for those who need help, for those who are suffering with loss, especially due to COVID-19. So I've been feeling all right. Well.
Okay, and that's good to know, because as you recognize, there are a range of things that are happening now, and there are so many things that are outside of your control. You know, as Rev said, now you have to start preparing to go to church. And as much as we want to go to church, there is also that feeling, is this okay? And so we all have to be mindful of that and recognize, and that's okay. I mean, there are lots of changes that we have been going through, and as we go through those changes that we are going, it doesn't matter who you are, we are going to be apprehensive about these new things that we're learning. And then once a change occurs, we start get accustomed to what is happening, and then there is another set of changes that we have to deal with. So, these are real times of uncertainty. But let's talk about your journey, though. Your journey, as you would have been university students coming to the end of coming to that end. And so, just even before we got to that point of COVID-19, could you just tell us about some of the highs and lows and memorable moments you had as you went through your journey of pursuing your degree? We'll start with Nasa, sorry.
It's fine. I I'd say I did a lot of I had a lot of really ups, really like highlights of my experience. Also had pretty much lows. I guess it was like a roller coaster, but like a fun one. Some of the highs were just being able to travel with my school, whether it was for like a football game or for like personal development with my college, the College of Business. Also, I got to be my school's queen this year, so I was Miss Jackson State. So those were highlights. Things that didn't go so well. One major thing that happened that not many people know about this year is that I got in a car accident at one of the busiest times of my semester, and that humbled me a lot. Not saying that I wasn't humble before, but it just showed me, like how you said, change can occur right when you're getting comfortable and just take you for a totally different turn. That was like a very big depiction of that. So that was my college career.
Okay, thanks for sharing. Jamila?
I would say I have a lot of high moments. I was extremely active on campus. I'm in a lot of groups and organizations, including being a resident assistant, criminal justice, Sisters with Purpose, psychology club, the St. Kitts Nevis Student Association, which I serve as president, um, Rotaract Club of UVI, I serve as Sergeant of Arms, the Student Government Association, served as senior senator. I'm also in two honors society, the Golden Key International Society and the Psychi International Society for Psychology. So I've been really active, putting on different events. One extremely high moment would be being selected as Student Leader of the Year, 2018 to 2019. Just working with students and the community volunteering. I would say those are mostly my high moments. I guess the moments would be class projects where probably didn't went too well, just the casual stuff college students go through, I would say. But I definitely enjoyed my time at UVI.
That's great to know that you really enjoyed your time. Kiara?
You said the highs and lows before COVID-19?
Yes.
Okay. Well, let's see. The highs I would say is since I'm in the School of Education, I really got to work with kids that are really in my age range, which is preschool. I became an AmeriCorps member, and I worked through this program called Jumpstart, where we taught the kids about powerful, playful learning and also expand their knowledge. And so it was really great being in the classroom every single day. It's the only reason I got up at 8 a.m. every morning. The lows would be, it was actually a little struggle trying to get it as well, because I had to go through receiving my background check and also my child abuse registry from back home in the Virgin Islands, which took forever. But I made it through. By the grace of God, I made it through. And on top of that, during my college years, I became a member of a national honor society called National Society of Leadership and Success. I also became a Phi Alpha, my bad. Ooh, my bad. I also became another member of an honor society. I made the dean's list about twice, and I also was able to spend a summer, working with children as well. So that was a really great experience in my college years.
Okay, thanks. And I am so excited to know that you did so many things. Everybody enjoyed their years in college. You're almost making me want to go back. Okay, I think these are great years of development, exposure, and really coming into our own and being our own person. So I am happy that you really had that opportunity to learn and grow. So all of this is happening, and you're at this point. It's February, March, spring break time, and you're looking forward, and then COVID, you're looking forward to the end of this journey, and then COVID-19 happens. How did that impact your journey? Kara, you can start.
Well, COVID-19 actually expanded during my school spring break week. So that was the week for me to, relax in my room and take a break. But then I got an email from my program called Jumpstart saying COVID-19 has become really serious. They're not allowing outside visitors into the preschool I was working at anymore. So that really hurt my feelings because I miss my students. And then spring break has been extended. Those who are living on campus need to leave. Thank God I wasn't living on campus at the time, but I had friends who did, so I had to help them move out. And with that, one of my best friend, she had sickle cell, and at the night she was planning to pack all her stuff and move out. She had a crisis, which became really serious, so I had to rush out of my apartment to help her. And it became really bad. And during COVID, I had to rush her to the hospital, which I really didn't want to go, but I had to go. And they wouldn't allow me in with her because some odd reason my fever was really high. And I don't know why, but After that, I was stressing. I was scared, making sure that she was okay, hoping that she would be okay and she wouldn't catch this disease. And luckily, I met my Uber driver was a CAU alumni, so he gave me some encouraging words saying, "Your friend will be okay. God is gonna bless you because you did such a good thing to help her." And then after that, I had to pack up my stuff and head home. Um, my parents were gonna pay for a ticket, but out of nowhere, Tim Duncan's foundation said, "Oh, send all your information to this email, and we're gonna get you a plane out of there. It's like a homecoming." And I sent all my information, and literally less than 24 hours, they sent me a confirmation of everything, saying what plane I'm flying on, where my stop is, and I didn't have to pay for anything, including bags. I had to pay for anything, so that was great. So, and then I made it home. I had to quarantine for 14 days. I finished my work online. I talked to my teachers. We came up with an idea how to get all my credit hours to help me graduate, and here I am.
Okay. So how was that transition to online learning?
It wasn't much of a transition for me because my class already was through Zoom, because most of the students in my class were out of town doing their work. So that's how we communicated with them, through Zoom. So I was really used to the online learning and everything.
Okay. And how did you manage as it relates to your students? Because you said, you just got a call and to tell you that they were no longer taking other persons on the compound. So that opportunity, how did it feel that you didn't get that opportunity to even say bye to them?
Felt devastated. Felt devastated. I really wanted to see them one more time, tell them they were going to do great because they were off to kindergarten. I really didn't get the chance to. I was also devastated when they told me they had to cancel my whole graduation ceremony and all the other events having to do with seniors. So I was very devastated.
Okay. So then at that point, so many things that you were looking forward to just change in the wink of an eye. And so
Yes.
we'll discuss this further, but let me ask your colleagues about how COVID-19 impacted their journey. Nessa?
Well, my experience was similar to Kiara's, in just that I was on spring break as well when our spring break actually got extended because of the new findings of COVID just being widespread. And so I was actually out of town. I wasn't on campus for the week. I wanted to enjoy my last spring break in college away. And it wasn't as fun because everything was shutting down. I was in California and everything was shutting down. Disneyland was shutting down, and then the weather was just gloomy, and it was really not what I expected it to be. And then when I returned safely to Jackson to school, and just seeing the atmosphere change, I was just, I felt like a movie or like a dream, something not real, just because it just became really quiet. My campus was just not the same. Everybody was trying to seclude themselves. All the masks, that was another thing. Just seeing everybody have to wear the masks and the gloves in and out, it made it feel just, just understand we couldn't hug each other. My campus is a campus that hugs. We hug, we say hello, we greet everybody, so that alone was just, that showed me really how much, a little glimpse of what this virus had to come. Then, my campus was very lenient with letting us stay on campus until we figure out how to, just our whereabouts, how to get home. So students like myself that had to travel abroad to get home, they were very much like, they made sure we had food to eat, and just they were not forcing us out. So I was grateful for that, because I know a lot of my friends had to leave unexpectedly. They had like a few days to get themselves together before they had to leave out. But since then, I had help. I definitely had help moving out. So that was a blessing. Not having to do that whole process by myself. So I'm trying to get out of the sun. Okay, it's following me. But yeah, just getting help. I'm just appreciative of that part, not having to, because you know how moving can be. And then you're doing it unwillingly. You don't really want to be moving out. But like I said all of that earlier. However, since getting home, it's just been, I tried to stay off of the media, like watching the news too much, because it's really depressing. I watch enough to stay alert and aware, but seeing that all day, it really doesn't help my mentality. So like Kara said, I try to stay connected to God. That's the only way I've been able to just maintain my sanity through it all. It's been rough, but just staying connected. And then the virtual conversations or the virtual interactions I've been having have helped. Just knowing that I'm not alone in this. I have other people, other friends that can relate to how I feel. And that's really been getting me through. And of course, talking to God constantly has been getting me through this.
And then, yes, and it's important to recognize that, staying connected and, and it's good that we're having these conversations today, because then it can help others recognize that they are not alone, and build that awareness that many others that are journeying along that same path are having similar experiences. So I'll ask Jamila to.
Hi, for me, it was my last spring break also, and I wanted to enjoy it to the max. And I had already booked a cruise, and nothing was stopping me, not even COVID-19, And I went on the cruise, and it was going so well, so well, so well, until I got an email from the president that told us, due to COVID-19, all residents have to move out by the following week, Saturday, and that all classes are transitioning online. And that just knocked the wind right out of me. Everything just went down from there. It was just like, I was just sleeping, and I was thinking, like, this is not happening, this is not happening. And the cruise ship was to dock in Puerto Rico the Sunday for us to get back. And when we reached to Puerto Rico, we was informed that the cruise ship is not allowed to dock, and we can't come on unless personnel come on and check each guest and worker, which would have taken 3 to 4 days. So the captain opted to take us to Miami, which was additional 2 days on sea. So I done crushed, I done ready to come off of the ship, and now I have to stay on for 2 additional days. I think if I didn't have roommates, I would have just sat crying then and there. But I tried to put it together, Jamila, put it together. We got to Miami the Tuesday, and that's when I really saw persons wearing masks. I'm just like, whoa, this is some serious stuff right here. I got back to campus the Wednesday. It was so different because when I left, campus was booming. Just see everybody waving out, hey! And then we got back, it was a ghost town. Most of the residents had left already, and it was just for you to pack up your stuff and get on your first flight to wherever your final destination. For me, would have been thinking. I mean, for each senior, that time was gonna come where you have to pack up, but you just wasn't ready for it at that time. You want to pack up with friends and family and reminisce about the good times and start to prepare for graduation, photo shoot, grad week where you do activities together, and that was not gonna happen. So it was quite a damper to just pack your stuff up. It was not ending well. Um, and then fear started setting, like, what is this? We really don't know what to expect, and it's just to get home as quick as possible. And then when I got to St. Kitts, I had to be quarantined for 14 days, self-quarantine. So then I was in the home but yet isolated from relatives until that 14 days had passed. So that's adding injury to illness right there, because I already crushed and here to know I can't really be comforted or touched by persons in my household. So for me, COVID-19, it gave me a lot. It robbed me of an experience I wanted to have. You know, it's like climbing a mountain. And the journey is good. The journey is good. You might slip here and there and, regroup yourself, regroup. And you're just thinking about getting to the top of the mountain and having that moment. And here it is like, you're not gonna have that moment. You're hearing about virtual graduation. That was been the first time I heard about virtual graduation, and it was pushing. It was very pushing for me. So for me, COVID-19 put me in a state of grief. I grieved. I grieved. Um, should I say I fully recovered? No, but I'm definitely in a better place than I was those couple weeks before. Um, for me, I identify my pain, all my emotions I was feeling, whether anger, regret, sadness. I really allow myself to experience it as well. I didn't want to rush the process. I want to go through the process and really recover from that moment.
Okay. And Jamila, that is very important that we recognize our emotions and recognize them for what they are, because the situation is as such. And you're on spring break, you're enjoying that moment before coming back. It would have been a little different if you were on campus at the point and then you had to pack up quickly. But you're returning from spring break, you have all these expectations, and then no. And as you said, when you left, you were not. I mean, COVID was serious, but it was serious on the other side of the world, and so and that is understandable. So we all have to be mindful. We are going to have these varying emotions, and so it's okay that you have them, and it's also great that you acknowledge them, because once you acknowledge them, it would help you to go through the process. My next question really to you was going to be, what was some of you would have experienced a range of emotions, and what would be some of them? And so Jamila has already identified her range and how she worked with them. So we have her range, and then we also had the fact that she was aware and she processed them. So Kiara, sorry, I think I was speaking with muted. So Jamila has explained a range of emotions that she went through during this period of time, as she moved from spring break to moving home, being quarantined, not being able to achieve some of the goals that she was looking forward to. So what were some of the emotions that you also experienced, Nessa and Kiara?
A lot of the same, because I don't know, I just, for a good amount of the process of me leaving, like my spring break trip and getting back, I don't think I really quite understood. Like, I knew everything was shutting down. I knew this virus was coming along, but I also was like, okay, we've had other viruses that have done damage. Like, we've had other viruses, the chikungunya and different things. So I just didn't expect what's happening now to be happening. So, I mean, at the time, it was kind of like I was just going through the motions. I was praying that I didn't catch anything while I was flying back. But it was also, oh my goodness, the packing up of my room. I'm so glad. I tell people all the time, I'm so glad like one of my friends came by to help me that night, because I just felt like Jamila said everything was just being taken away from me before I was ready to say goodbye. But I'm just glad, because I knew if I was there by myself, I would have been a wreck, crying and trying to go all over the campus before I leave, because I don't know when I'm coming back. I would have been really very emotional. And not saying that that's not okay. It's just, I'm just glad that I had somebody with me so that I don't, do all of that.
Yes.
And then coming home and adjusting to, so online classes was that's something I've always kind of been doing as far as this semester goes. But I just a change in environment. Like I would probably do my homework in the library at school. Having to do it in my room here, I'm just not a room person, so I would try to go outside, change the scenery. Because if I study in my room, I'm probably going to end up in the bed. But usually I would try to like go outside, do some homework, submit it, and then just pace myself. I've created just little routines for my days to make it feel like it's an actual regular day. And I try to minimize how much, like I said before, how much I put into myself about what's going on in the world. I limit myself because we have ample amount of time to just sit down and just be sad or nervous about what's going on. But I made the decision that that's not how I plan to make it through this. I plan to be as optimistic as I can. Yes, I have times when I'm just like, oh my goodness. Like I said about my job, I stopped for like 2 weeks, stopped looking for anything just because I was frustrated. I was angry. I said, if this virus didn't happen, I would have this job and I would not be looking for one now. I secured it from 3 months ago, you know, but I just take that as that wasn't necessarily for me. And now I'm on to find something that's more for me. So that's how I've been doing.
Okay, that's great, that positive thinking. And yes, sometimes we have to block ourselves off from all that information that is coming out there. And for the most part, most of it is negative. So if you're already nervous about the virus or what is happening around you, it really doesn't help. And so limiting yourself to what is out there in the media, it's a really important coping mechanism. And you need to keep that up in order. Once you know you can't, because we become oversaturated, and then anything, if we have an itch, we would have contracted COVID. So it's very important to do that. Kiara?
I'm sorry, my computer died. But all the emotions I went through, at first I was relaxed because it was spring break. It was time to relax, hang out with friends. And then everything happened so fast. So I started panicking. And so like, oh my gosh, I need to hurry up and get these Lysol wipes, cleaning supplies before it all goes out. I need to get some toilet paper, which was going out extremely fast. So, but then I got the email, the video of my president saying, graduation has been canceled. Then that's when my whole world just came crashing down. The one moment I was waiting for, the one moment I was like, I felt like I was the finish line, and then it just swerved on me. So then after that, all my roommates from my apartment started leaving, so I was there pretty much by myself and started feeling enclosed and claustrophobic. So I called my parents every day. I would call crying like, I need to come home, send me home, I need to go home. And by the grace of God, Tim Duncan had his homecoming reunion. So that was great. And then on top of that, with what I said before, with my friend catching her sickle cell disease, having a sickle cell crisis, and being in the hospital at like 3 a.m. and not letting me through because of this virus, not knowing if she's okay, and all that. And then then I started to feel a little more relaxed again when I met the CAU alumni as an Uber driver. Giving me encouraging words, telling me it's gonna be okay. And then I came home, and then I felt everything was all right.
Okay, so you're better for being home. But I think all of you have mentioned, and that is something important to note, that yes, you would have completed now virtual graduations, you would have completed your course of study, but there was a big part of you that wanted to be a part of that graduation ceremony, that final moment to mark that I did it, I made it. And so you had virtual. How how did not being able to participate in the ceremony, having your parents and your other family members being there to support you, how did that impact you?
Oh, my family had our own graduation. So we came with Zoom. We brought the families together, as you can see with the bulletin boards in the back, with our cap. My mom went to Reliable Rental. She found some balloons. She went to a cake bakery. Got us a cake. And we had our own little graduation with President Obama with the HBCU grads and him as the speaker. I had President Obama at my graduation, so I feel so touched. And then after that, I had my brother. My brother is actually graduating virtually tomorrow, so from high school. So then, we'll bring the family together again and enjoy that time.
Okay, so you're really making the best of the moment now. Jamila?
Well, as I would have mentioned, I would have served as senior senator on the Student Government Association. So I really utilize that platform in terms of giving the students their voice, especially the seniors, that virtual graduation is something that we don't want, we don't deserve. We deserve a lot more, and the president needs to hear us, So we would have met with him, and he decided to hear what the students had to say. So my school sent out a survey with the options of having a virtual graduation, one in August, one in December, or waiting until 2021. And we spoke to the students and let them to know, let your voice be heard. Fill out the survey, comment in the comment box how you feel about this and whatnot. And they really did. 8% would have opted to have graduation postponed. And the university acknowledged that and they put in place graduation December 10th. So I will be walking in December, which I'm grateful for. I still know that I might not graduate with everyone because at that time now persons might be in grad school, persons might not be able to afford to come back to work, or some persons may still be upset and be like, I don't want to even think about it anymore. The time has passed. But I am grateful for the fact that the university afforded us the opportunity to walk in December.
Okay, so Nisa,
Um,
Lisa.
yes. Same. My school did, well, our student government sent out, or my school rather, sent out a survey asking students if they prefer to have our actual ceremony. So we did have a virtual version. The week after our initial graduation weekend, which was nice to see my name, but I'm hoping that we are able to reschedule. It's either going to be in August, October, or December. We did have a survey, and I'm not sure about the results as yet, but hopefully we do have a new date. And try not to get my hopes up just in case it doesn't happen, but I do hope that it happens.
And some will say that, oh, but the ceremony doesn't make a difference. You would have completed school. But yes, I'm seeing the look from Jamila here. Nah. And it is your right to want to do that because this is the end of the journey. I did it. And so you are, there is nothing wrong with you feeling that way or wanting to actually participate in your ceremony to celebrate that major milestone in your lives. And so if the opportunity is afforded to you, I would be one of the persons to encourage you to take it. And so today we've been talking about how COVID has affected you as graduating students and how it has impacted your ability to actually participate in the ceremony, but how it has uprooted your entire lives, even as so far as Lisa, get your job, having now to search for another job. But as you said, you know that you're going to get something great and something better. And Kiara, you probably will get to go back one time at some point and meet your, well, the children might be going to different kindergarten classes, so you may not be able to see all of them, but maybe you can do a Zoom if they're still in session. You could do a little Zoom video by saying bye. But it's also important for us to recognize that at this point, that as things are happening and they're the constant changes, because we don't know, even universities are looking at, are we going to be online come August, September, or are we going to be able to have students on campus? And so there is also that other group of students who is wondering what is happening next. So it's important for us to note and to remember to connect. All of you noted that your spiritual connection, your family support, even when you went on quarantine, Jamila, and you could not get the hugs that you required after the situation and the stressful situation. But it's also a moment for us to acknowledge how we're feeling, and also a moment for us to really look at some of the positive things and how we were able to learn, innovate, and move on to that next level. So I would like to offer my congratulations. And I do hope you get to walk in your graduation. And I will allow Reverend Lewis to come in here, because one of the things that you mentioned and you kept mentioning was how much your faith held you through the at this time. And I will have Reverend Lewis come in here.
Well, thank you, Andrea, and thank you, Jamila, Nisa, and Kiara for sharing. I believe that this is an important moment for you and for your families, and we'd also want you to indicate a little later. When I say a little later, we're already out of time. Who you want to say thanks to, who you'd want to say thanks to at this point, and what you would also say to other students like yourself, especially fifth formers, who will be not walking, may also have virtual graduations in this particular time, persons who are finishing high school. We keep believing we live in a difficult world, and one of the psalms that I like is Psalm 66, when it talks about how God testing us as how silver is tested, and letting people walk over our head and so forth, going through all those difficult places. It's as though when the psalmist says that, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, because thou art with me. The fact that you have been praying and waiting on the Lord and say, God, how you bring us through this. It's a difficult place indeed. But I want to also say to you that the character that this is building in you, you are going to be as tough as nails, I believe, going forward. Having gotten to this particular point and not being able to get what you're looking for, being able to adjust your expectations in the midst of it and know that God is carrying you through all of that. So we are praying for you and for others like you, that you will indeed be brave. Yes, face the grief, deal with the pain. The fact is, you were waiting to go to university for a long time. Now you've gone and said, I'm finishing, and boom, it's sort of short-circuited. No worries. God brought you to this. Look forward for what the future will hold for you. So before we go out this afternoon, I just want to ask you to say a couple words, maybe a word of encouragement to somebody else who's listening, some high school graduate or somebody who's graduating from university like yourself. And also say thanks to those few people who are that circle that you have that has been really signal in this journey of yours through university up to now. So Jamila, we'll start with you, then Nisa, then Kiara.
As I would have mentioned, I would have grieved, and how I coped with that, besides acknowledging my emotions and allowing myself to go through that as well, would be sharing how I feel with persons who I felt had um, my interest at heart and who would have comforted me and give me those words that I needed to hear. Also, persons who was going through it with me, just sharing those experiences. And most importantly, crying out to God was like the number one thing, because until I did that, I didn't feel any relief that was so impactful. Like that night when I just pulled it all out, the next day I wouldn't say it completely went away, but I have felt way better than I felt weeks before. And I continued to do that until the burden got lighter and lighter. So I would just like to thank those persons who checked in on me, those persons who allowed me to vent to them, those persons who've been praying for me. I just want to thank God. For persons that is going through this, I just want to say, think of it as a way of making you tougher, and use it as a way to never do anything halfway. Whatever opportunity you have, take full advantage. Put all your time and effort into it, that you don't have any regret going forward, because you might not be able to have a do-over. Like, don't always afford a do-over. So whatever you have at that moment, take full advantage. I would like to say, don't allow this experience to stop you from dreaming or thinking that it don't make any sense going through anything, because you may not attain it or you may have a delay. Don't let that stop you. You have a dream, you have a goal. I want you to go forward with it. So, and all the best for 2020.
For me, I really could just like say same for everything she just said, cause same. But specifically, of course, I'm so grateful for the relationship that I have with God. Just being able to be transparent about how I've been feeling this entire time. My mom, of course, she right in the room listening to me. Just making sure that that I was able to get home like when I could, because I think a lot of us take for granted like just the ability to just be able to find a ticket and drop on a plane. I know a lot of my classmates or friends were not able to do that, so thank you to mommy. Um, and thank you to just my family, that's like family from my school, friends that talk to me daily to check in on me, check up with me. I try to check in with them daily just to make sure we're all just staying sane. Sometimes we're not as good as the day before, but just having that connection with like-minded individuals has helped me. I didn't realize how much we need social interaction before now, to feel normal, I guess. But so thank you to anybody that has supported me from the very beginning, from freshman year, or even from before. Like, just even if you sent money, you sent up a prayer, if you just reached out to me on Facebook to check in on me. There's somebody in particular that checks in on me like every week, once a week at least. So I'm so grateful for my voting when I was running for the Ebony magazine. You got me in the top 10. Anybody that has supported me, literally everybody that has supported me, thank you. My advice to people like me, people that just graduated from high school, undergraduate studies, graduate school, getting their PhD. Nobody has ever had to do this before, to my knowledge. So that whole thing about us gaining a new skill, I know somebody said on Twitter, they're adding I don't know how they phrase it, but whatever we're going through right now, they're adding it to their resume, because this is something major that we have accomplished, just being resilient in this time. And I'm proud of you. If nobody has told you that so far, I'm telling you from now that I am proud of you for accomplishing this major achievement.
Well, for starters, I would like to thank my school for coming up with this motto, find a way or make one. And with that motto, we found a way or made one. Thank you to whoever created Zoom. in order for us to communicate. Thank you to so much family. Thank you to God, especially when we had that mini graduation celebration. Over 30 family members came over to celebrate with me on my graduation, which I'm so thankful and I'm so grateful for. Thank you to my teachers for helping us, come up with plans to help me turn in all my credits for me to flip that tassel. Thank you to my parents, thank you to the Tim Duncan Foundation, finding my way home. Thank you to my friends, for everyone that kept me sane and kept me mellow during this time.
All right. Well, thank you very much, everyone, for sharing. We truly believe that these are difficult times, but we also believe that God always has something great in store for us. We want to keep our eyes fixed on God. So I want to say thank you, Kiara. Thank you, Nisa. Thank you, Jamila, for sharing, for being transparent, for being an encouragement for other persons who are in this space, giving voice to their particular feelings. Thank you very much also to Andrea, who was the primary host today, got her on to do that. And we will continue we will continue to pray for you, and we'll continue to bring you programs such as this to really encourage persons who are in various places of the journey. These young ladies are all from one person just said what churches they're from. Kiara, you are in St. Croix. You're from Friedensburg, it is? You're muted, sorry.
Yes. Sorry, I thought I pressed it.
Right?
Yes.
Good. And Nisa is from Memorial, and Jamila is from Zion. Memorial in St. Thomas, Zion in St. Kitts. So that's everybody. Please note, for the program on Thursday, we will be going back to agriculture, food and faith, and we will be talking to the Reverend Nigel Daniel in Tobago with what they're doing in Tobago in terms of pictures of the work that they're doing there in Tobago. So please join us for that program. I believe after this week's program, we are probably going to go to like one program per week, but stay tuned as we continue, as this program continues to evolve. Just as how COVID is changing a lot of things, we just were responding to the need. And as the need goes, we will also respond. Thank you for joining us. Reach out, let us know how this program affected you, how it impacted you, and continue to let us all trust God in the midst of all the circumstances. Blessing and favor to us all. Have a great day. Bye-bye.